Growing a business is kind of tricky right now. Supply chains are squeezed, tariffs and trade policies are dynamic, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. You need clarity to come out on top. Without it, you risk falling behind. If only you could hop in the DeLorean and see the future, right? Thankfully, there's NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite has real-time forecasting to help you move ahead with confidence. This is your AI-powered business management suite and the #1 cloud ERP. Trusted by over 42,000 businesses, NetSuite brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. And with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. Congrats, your business is doing great. All your hard work is paying off, but you need help like now, and you have to hire fast. How can you hire amazing candidates quickly? Easy, just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. And with sponsored jobs, your posts jump to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach people you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. One of the things I love most about Indeed is that it has one of the largest databases of job seekers, giving employers access to a wide range of candidates. And with job alerts, I get notified when new candidates apply. And with Indeed sponsored jobs, there's no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts, and you only pay for results. So how fast? Well, in the minute that I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/SmartPassive. Just go to Indeed.com/SmartPassive right now and support a show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/SmartPassive. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed, is all you need. You spent months building towards launch day, but when the clock hits 0, your site crashes. Bots swarm, and loyal fans rage on Reddit. That's not good. Fanfare was built to stop that. Fanfare is the drop platform made for high-pressure moments, stampede-proof infrastructure, verified waitlists, and bot filters that actually work. Instead of refunds and rage, you get retention and revenue. And that sounds great to me. Your next launch shouldn't be a gamble. Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook and learn how to bulletproof your drop at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, that's fanfare.io/playbook.
This is the Smart Passive Income Podcast with Pat Flynn, session number 147.
Welcome to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, where it's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later. And now your host, who's obsessed with looking at things in a microscope, Pat Flynn.
Still using a copy-paste website? Break the template trap with Framer. Whether you're overwhelmed by traditional site builders or frustrated with cookie-cutter designs, Framer gives you the freedom to create a site that's professional, polished, and uniquely yours. Framer is the design-first, no-code website builder that lets anyone ship a production-ready site in minutes. It's free to start, allowing you to browse hundreds of pixel-perfect templates or even design something on your own on a totally blank canvas. Add bold animations like appear effects, text effects, parallax scrolling, scroll animations, looping animations, and much more in seconds. The built-in AI handles the heavy lifting, generating starter layouts, and can even translate your entire site to any language. Ready to build a site that looks hand-coded without hiring a developer? Launch your site for free at framer.com and use code SPI to get your first month of Pro on the house. That's framer.com, promo code SPI. Framer.com, promo code SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply. Do you know the secret to businesses that are scaling faster than ever? They're using Upwork to tap into a diverse pool of skilled freelancers across various industries. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more. Experts who are ready to help you take your business to the next level. I've personally used Upwork myself and can vouch for it. Posting a job on Upwork is easy. With no cost to join, you can register, browse freelancer profiles, get help drafting a job post, or even book a consultation. From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them to take your business to the next level. Upwork makes the entire process easier, simpler, and more affordable with industry-low fees. Post a job today and hire tomorrow with Upwork. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help you grow your business. That's Upwork.com. Again, Upwork.com.
What's up, everybody? Pat Flynn here, and you're listening to session 147 of the Smart Passive Income Podcast, and I'm so happy today because we're joined by some of my favorite people in the world with us today. 3 people, actually, not one after another, but all at the same time. We're talking to Corbett, Barr, Chase Reeves, and Barrett Brooks, also known as the 3 amigos from Fizzle.co, one of the most well-run, highly engaged, and also super highest quality membership sites that you can get out there, especially in the online business space. Again, Fizzle.co, and we're going to talk to all 3 of them about what it takes to run their membership site. So for those of you out there who are wanting to run a membership site of your own, or who are thinking about it, or maybe you're doing it already, they're going to give you a lot of honest information about really what it takes, because membership sites in the passive income world are almost considered the holy grail, and I put that in air quotes, the holy grail of passive income, because when you think about it, you get people paying month after month to be in there, and if you can keep people in, more people will keep coming, and your monthly income will continue to grow. And the cool thing about having people in a membership site like this is you can almost predict how much money you're going to make, as opposed to if you're just selling one-off products or, like me, affiliate products, you aren't necessarily sure what your month is going to look like until it's close to the end of the month. So you're going to get the real deal here. And you may remember Corbett, Barr, actually, from earlier episodes of the Smart Passive Income Podcast. Back when he was blogging at thinktraffic.net, he was helping us with traffic strategies. And some of those episodes in the early days were some of the more popular episodes, actually. And we have him on again with Chase, who you may know as being responsible for the design. He's a designer and a creative type. He was responsible for the design, or the first iteration of the new design of the Smart Passive Income blog, which you can find at smartpassiveincome.com. And also Barrett Brooks, who is the person who is pretty much in charge of the member results, making sure that the members are getting results and they're happy and they're joining the community and that sort of thing. Corbett has a lot of golden information. I mean, all of them do, but Corbett, especially at the end, he just drops a lot of knowledge bombs about what it really takes to keep a membership site going, and a lot of the tools that they use that I've never really even heard of before that are helping maintain the engine that is Fizzle.co. It's a community that I'm also a part of. I've also contributed a course on affiliate marketing into Fizzle.co as well. Super fun, super crazy guys, and you're going to hear Chase and some of his impressions. It's just, man, this is going to be fun. So let's get to the interview right now, again, from the crew at Fizzle.co. What's up, everybody? I'm so excited and very nervous because I have amazing people on the show this today who I admire and I love, and they're great friends. We have Corbett, Chase, and Barrett from Fizzle.co, the Fizzle crew. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
What's up, Pat? You're nervous. What about us? This is like the big stage for us.
Yeah, this is like bright lights. I don't know if you're catching the right side of my face or not, and I'm just going to go with it anyways.
Every side of your face is the right face.
Oh, Chase. God. See, you're already putting me at ease. You're so good.
That's what I do. I try to make everybody feel comfortable. Barrett hasn't said a word yet, so I don't know if I'm doing
I was going to say, I feel like I should measure my life before SPI and then after and see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. I think this is one of those watermarks.
We'll split test that.
Yeah.
Please don't.
So for everybody out there listening, Corbett, Chase, and Barrett are the guys behind Fizzle.co, probably the most engaged and honest online marketing membership site you can go to get crazy education, amazing videos. I've been on doing a couple courses for them as well, and I'm so happy to have them come on today to talk about how to run a successful membership site. I feel like, in the world of online business, membership sites are sort of the holy grail of passive income, right? Because you can get people to continually pay you every month, but obviously, if you're having people continue to pay every month, you have to give them stuff every month, and you guys give more than any other membership site I've ever been a part of. I'm a part of Fizzle myself. I rocked the t-shirt yesterday, Heart and Hustle,
and Nice.
Dude, love it. I love what you guys are doing. So first of all, just let me welcome Corbett back to the show. Corbett's been on the show a couple times in the past when he was back at thinktraffic.net, and he's since made a shift to create what's called Fizzle. And so, Corbett, reintroduce yourself really quick and talk about how you went from Think Traffic, which is where we know you from, and all the amazing traffic advice you gave in those previous episodes, to now this amazing membership site that you've built.
Well, at some point, I think I always thought of myself as maybe being a lone wolf, just the Chris Guillebeau types or Leo Babauta or Seth Godin or whatever, these guys who kind of operate on their own. And I think you've been in this camp for a while, Pat, although now you have a team, and that's changing. And so for me, at some point, I brought Caleb on, who has been a friend of the show as well, Caleb Wojcik. And I like that. I like that renewed sense of vigor that I had with working with someone else. And little did I know, at some point, my path would cross with Chase Reeves at a conference. And he came on to redesign Think Traffic a while back. This was 3 years ago now or something. And we really enjoyed working together. And I started to realize that myself and even as a team with Caleb, we had some limitations in terms of what we could do and the impact that we wanted to have. And it started to become clear that we could do a lot more if we brought other skills on the team, especially around design, video production skills. Caleb has added a lot of those, obviously, but Chase brought a lot to the table with that. And so we started thinking about working together as a team, the three of us. And we also started thinking about how could we build something that was more stable, that felt like it was, on solid bedrock instead of having to resell and regain new customers every month. How could we, have the same customers from month to month and watch them progress in their journey? And really, when it comes down to trying to help people with any sort of business skills, building a business is a multi-month, multi-year sort of project. And so for anyone to say, hey, I have this course and in 4 weeks, I'm going to take you from nothing to full-fledged business is just horse pucky, right?
Pucky.
And so with Fizzle, we figured if this is going to be something that takes someone a year or 2 years, let's build something that has a full toolkit, everything that they need, and is at a price they can afford so they can actually be around for the couple of years as they're making progress. We can follow their journey, and then we can take credit for everything that they do over a couple of years, right?
Yeah, some of the success stories coming out of Fizzle.co have been amazing. And of course, all the courses that you get these experts to come on and share all these interesting insights and, really deliver so much value in a way that I've really never seen anybody do it before. And I want to get to Chase now. Chase, you and I have worked together before. A lot of the people out there listening know that you had a direct influence on the major way that the site looks now, SPI. I mean, you came over to San Diego. You got to stay with my family for a while and actually lock yourself in my office, and you would just sit there and design and call me in upstairs and be like, hey, Pat, what do you think of this? And then you'd send me back down and wouldn't want to talk to me for a while, and then you'd bring me back up again. And that whole experience was amazing. So I can only imagine what value you have provided for Corbett and Fizzle. Talk about really quick what's been your experience like. And first of all, just welcome to the show. It's really cool to have you here.
Well, thank you, Pat. I'm just excited to be here. Sorry, I was going to try to do it full on. Mostly I'm just a song and dance act. I just love dancing and I love acting. And so I brought a lot of those skills and talents to Fizzle.
Here we go. It started already. For those of you who don't know, Chase is an amazing personality, probably one of the funniest guys I ever know, and the champion of the impressions card.
Podcast quality impressions only.
Yeah.
I'm no Chris Ducker though. I'm no Chris Ducker. I can't do what he does, but
he does De Niro very well.
Is De Niro?
Sure.
I had a dream last night about like making the bio on my Twitter account like I am a podcaster at Fizzle and one of the world's worst De Niro impersonators, where it's like you just have a video doing like where it's so funny because it's so bad. That would be me actually trying to do my De Niro,
and it would take the pressure off.
You did do a Herrick Dalpern impression though, which is classic. Fun. I have to link to this in the show notes for everybody out there. Chase did a video of him being Derek Halpern, and I was
no. This is actually not me. This is an actual. I found a guy called Herrick Dalpern who's literally got a site called
your soul.
Social Riggers, socialriggers.com. And he helps people like psychology, marketing stuff, a lot of jam talk.
Yeah. I'll put the video up on the show notes. It's just,
I just helped him make the video because I thought he had some skills, you know.
I was in tears. But talk about Fizzle really quick. What's been your experience like being in it? And then why don't you get into, you're deep into Fizzle. What are some of the challenges that you guys are facing as you've sort of built this membership site?
Well, those are some good questions, Pat. Let's see. So for me, getting into Fizzle, my title, our titles mean effectively zero, because we're a 3-person team. We all wear all the hats all the time, and we have a bunch of hats. So I am the creative director in title alone, but that doesn't mean, I'm the designer. I've always been a designer and sort of the person who really cares about what this feels like out in the world. I always want, that's just something I've just always been really sensitive to. I don't know if you guys resonate with this, but for me, like the band shirt that I wore in the high school cafeteria, like that was probably one of the bigger decisions I made in any particular day. Like I just wanted to make sure that people knew I was this and not that, and this and not that. I was a rocker, not a rapper. I was a blader, not a skater. Right? Pat and I share some of the fruit technology.
Boogie boarder.
Aggro skater.
I'm not a boogie boarder.
In Pat's case,
I am not a sponger. I do not do that.
Hey.
But so for some reason, my deep-seated insecurities led to being able to create my own image about myself and about the things that I made, and that took me towards being this designer type. So it's like it's sort of like a knee-jerk reaction for me. If I see something that we put out and I'm just like, ooh, like I can't stop the ooh feeling, you know. So it's always it's like a compulsion. It's like an OCD. But that's also a source of having taste. I think design and most of what we all do on the web. How do we be trustworthy? We have good taste. You don't put something out that looks cheesy and sleazy and crappy. That's going to elicit those kinds of feelings in a visitor from who knows where they're coming from. You don't want to elicit those feelings, right? So that's what my, I guess, job title is in Fizzle, but really what we all do, what our bread and butter is we make courses. And I do have a course in there on web design, which for people who aren't designers. And I'm really proud of that one, about the productivity course. And I think more than anything else, I've always been sort of a writer and communicator in a designy kind of way. So bringing that to Fizzle is really fulfilling for me because, like, for instance, a really short and sweet course that I did on productivity, there's just a handful of hard-hitting, 4-minute lessons in there that generate so much talk in the forums of people just going like, oh, you killed me with this one. I see exactly the problems that I was making. And that's, I think, what I get off on. That's what I really love. I always want to create an emotional experience with someone. I have a friend named Don who's this big-time writer guy. And so I listen when he speaks. And he told me, Chase, you're a writer. You want to have an emotional experience. You want to create an emotional experience with the people on the other side of the book or the monitor or the internet or whatever, right? And I that's always been something that's kind of guided me because it's so true when you hear someone else speak something like that to you. So in my courses, in the posts and the podcasts that we make and all this stuff, we're really trying to connect back to, like you mentioned, the shirt is heart and hustle. And I just heard someone tweet yesterday about like Fizzle's like the place for heart-centered entrepreneurs, and I don't want to be too cheesy and like February 14th, get your Hallmark cards about it, but it really is an important piece of what it's like to do a solopreneur type thing or a small team type thing where you're putting your butt on the line to make something, and your family's, what you get to eat with your family, like, depends on this thing. This is your dream. This is your excitement. This is your engagement. This is your chance for making something. And for those of us who have this unfortunate itch, we just have to scratch it. That's the people that we go all in on at Fizzle. And I guess when you talk about what the challenges are, there's so many challenges. Talk
about that, because I know a lot of people, they're like, they see membership sites as sort of the holy grail of passive income, and they want to do it. But what should they be paying attention to or looking out for before they get into it?
Well, it's the worst thing in the world. You never get to stop working. I mean, it's one thing if you're like, I want to put out a site and it's just got a course on it, and then you just hope people don't cancel their membership to keep having access to that one course or some little forum module that you have. There's this talk that I'll send you a link to, Pat, so you can put it in the show notes. It's my favorite thing that I've ever found about business. The favorite thing of learning, by a lady named Kathy Sierra. She's a veteran of the tech world. She's way more wise than anybody else I tend to listen to about this stuff. And she has this talk called Minimum Viable Badass. right? And she says the point of this business is if you want the word of mouth marketing, if you want people to talk about you, you cannot make your app awesome. You can't be competing on app awesome. You have to compete on user awesome. Making your users awesome, designing not for your users, but for their conversations that the users are going to have with their friends. And she gets into a bunch of stuff about how we do that. And it's I watch it every single year. I just got done watching it recently and I love it. And so for us in Fizzle, we're really trying, like we're idealists in some ways. At least I am. I keep the idealist flame alive. Corbett's like, listen, I've been here forever. I know how this works. You're not going to, okay, if you want to try that, you know, but I'm trying, we have this great tension and balance to keep that sort of ideal alive that we can optimize for minimum viable bad act of our audience, trying to make every person that signs up for Fizzle a bad act, however they define it, right?
And how do you do that though?
Well, they have questions. You know exactly how. People are like, I have an idea. I don't know if it's a good one or not. Or they don't know what they don't know, right? That's the thing that always used to get me as I look back at my own story, right? I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't know how hard it's going to be. I don't know what I don't know about this stuff. So I'm trying constantly. We have this other small course on the mindset of being an entrepreneur. And it's just like, these are the expectations you're allowed to have. And this is an exercise to try to get to know what expectations you do have hidden within your heart about this thing, because you normally don't know the expectations that you have when you're doing a business like this. We see this over and over and over again with entrepreneurs of this nature, that you don't know the expectations you have until you get disappointed. And now it's not just that this didn't work, it's that I'm broken, I'm screwed up, I'm not good enough to be an entrepreneur, I'm not bad, right? And that's, I think, what we've defined as the ultimate failure, is when you give up on yourself, kind of. Because this idea, it probably isn't going to work. But you have a higher statistical chance of the next one working. And if that one not, then the next one. You're learning this like a skill. It's like changing tires on a car or fixing things around the house. This is what it's like to build a business, and it's not rocket science. And there also isn't a gadget that can just give you like another 100% viable business opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. And when the moment that happens, is the moment that this stops being a viable career choice for most of us. It's like Google just move in and then we all get to work for Google now, I guess. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Barry, I want to talk to you a little bit about, and first of all, just introduce you to everybody. Why don't you talk about your role in Fizzle really quick?
Sure. So like Chase said, I mean, we all do everything, but my role is Director of Member Success, which means everything from resetting people's passwords to hopping on a phone call with one of our customers who is having a business challenge. So kind of everything in between that has to do with serving our customers kind of outside of the course realm, outside of the design and building the platform realm.
And what is it that you do? I mean, even all of you, but you can speak to this, Barrett. What do you guys do to keep people happy? Like, yes, the contact with you, I think, is obviously helpful, but in your membership site in whole, I mean, the benefit of having a membership site as a business owner is having people keep staying in there and paying month after month. What can people do to make sure that their members are wanting to stay in and would even feel bad about leaving?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, my goal is always to create an experience where when a customer decides it's time to leave, it's painful for them and they really feel sad and like they don't want to leave the community because it's that valuable and it's that essential to building their business and building their friendships and everything else. And so, I mean, delight is this buzzword in the startup community these days. Yeah. But for us, we really do try and truly delight our customers, whether it's in an email interaction when they're canceling or whether it's when they're dealing with a really deep-seated personal issue, maybe a parent just died, or when it's them having a business challenge. And at least for me, and I think I speak for all of us, I mean, I take it very personally when someone leaves Fizzle because we want people to come and want to stay and to build community and to build their business with Fizzle being a core part of that. And so that looks like a lot of things. It looks like proactively engaging people through sometimes automated emails, sometimes personal emails with trying to get them engaged or asking them what we can help with. It looks like a weekly email we send out called This Week in Fizzle that shows them all the most active or interesting conversations going on in the forums for that week. So they have kind of an easier way to sift through everything in there. It looks like, we just had a Fizzler lose a job and he had to leave Fizzle for a little while. And it was painful for him. I mean, he said those words in his exit interview And I emailed him back and I said, listen, have a month on us. Losing your job is not your fault. And we're happy to keep you around for this time to get you back on your feet. And so it's this wide range of things, and there's no hard rules about it. It's listening to your customers, responding when it's appropriate, and going out of your way to create a great experience that you would want to have as a human.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and up front, I think you're at the greatest risk of losing people within the first 30 or 60 days. And really what that hinges on is whether or not they experience all that we have to offer. Somebody signs up, we have a $1 trial that's running, and that means somebody can get in for, nothing, whatever they've got in their pocket, $1. And a lot of times people sign up with the intention of building a business or with the intention of using all that Fizzle has to offer. And then it becomes our job to turn that intention into experience, right? So that they actually get in and they see that we have hundreds of hours of video training and that we have weekly coaching calls and all these other things that we have. But when somebody signs up, they're like, okay, sure, it's $1. I'll check it out. They can easily wander off, for the next 3 or 4 weeks during their trial and kind of forget about us, forget about that moment they had with us where they decided to sign up. And so really, the name of the game for any membership site, I think, is this onboarding process or this activation process where you have this critical time where you got to walk people through and show them the value that you can deliver. And we know that Fizzle is incredibly valuable. For $35 a month, you're not going to get anything close to this anywhere else online. And we can really say that and believe in it. And so we just have to make sure that people actually experience that value. Once they've gotten through that period of, the first 30 or 60 days or so, they've gone through a full billing cycle, then they're far less likely to leave. Then it becomes more of what Barrett's talking about and really making sure that people remember deep in their being, whatever it is, why they signed up and why they want to build a business, because it's really easy to kind of forget about that stuff when life gets in the way, when it gets a lot harder, all the stuff that Chase was talking about that's going on emotionally within the entrepreneur.
Right, absolutely. Definitely keeping your members, helping remind them why they're there in the first place, especially down the long run, is huge. And there are different strategies for doing that at certain moments. For example, the month before, the next, after the month before the year is up or something, people send out emails just to remind them about how awesome, their membership has been and things like that. But talk about, again, I love what you mentioned about this onboarding process, the first 30 to 60 days, which is crucial. What are some specific things you guys do to make sure that onboarding process is great, that there's a great first impression, that people are easily guided through, the massive amounts of content in your membership?
Well, first thing we did was we made, this goes all the way back to our alpha days. We did an alpha launch and then a beta launch, just getting 150 people in on each one of those and like letting a kind of a month and a half sit between them so that we could really understand what this thing is in how they're using it, right? So even in that alpha release, we made like a welcome video type thing that just shows like how to use the thing. But really early on, it was funny and it was kind of, I don't know, it was just kitschy and funny and it felt like there was an energy and a real people in this thing, right? I never really buy any online stuff, but everything that I see out there feels kind of soulless. Not everything, but a lot of the things that I see, it just feels like, okay, they made this thing and they just pooped it out over here. And it just doesn't feel alive in that sense. They're sort of relying on some community to make it feel alive. And we really wanted to, because this was basically a business advantage that we had, we knew how to be personalities and how to welcome people in and make them feel like, welcome to our house. You're part of our crew now, and you're a family here. And so we just kind of started early on with these like inside jokes and little funny bits about what it means to be in Fizzle. And I think there's that energy level, and all of that takes place in this short little video. But then there's actually learning how to do the stuff. Here's how the forum software works. Here's how you can just click this button and view all the new stuff since you logged in, right? And here's some of our hottest conversations and things like that.
Do you do anything to get people to interact, quicker than or sooner than later, like
with one another?
Yeah.
Yeah. So something we've done is we've gone and looked at all of our data to say, what are the characteristics of someone who sticks around for a very long time and gets a lot of value out of this thing? And we've noticed that time and time again, the people who participate in the community end up sticking around for a long time. And that makes sense, right? Because what we've heard from our most experienced members is that people usually come to Fizzle for the training and they end up staying for the community because that's where the long-term value is, right? Building a business is really simple, right? You create something that someone else wants and charge a fair price for it. And that's basically it. And we can teach you, there's obviously little technology things, but eventually your business education doesn't really need to take that long. You need to start taking a lot of action. And the action comes from being inspired by other people, by being able to ask questions when you get stuck, and by holding yourself accountable to friends, people that you've made friends with. So really, that's what we want the forums to serve. And we have people right off the bat introduce themselves. Tell us what they're working on. Start a progress log where weekly they come in and write down, all the things that they're working on, what they expect to accomplish the next week, and then to come back and update everybody on it. And some of the cool threads that you can read in there involve people who were around for a couple of years and started a progress log. Way back in late 2012 when we first opened up the doors to our beta group. People started progress logs, and you can follow those progress logs week by week by week to see the progress that they made. And when you come into Fizzle now, there are these names around, right? These sort of famous within Fizzle people like John Corcoran or Tom Ross or other people who have made it big over the past couple of years. And you can go back to day one and follow their story and see the frustrations that they went through. And that's really cool. So we know that you can get a lot of value by participating in the community. And so we do everything we can to get people to do that. And really, if you're just talking about mechanisms, Pat, we send emails to people. We have a tool called Intercom, which allows us to send behavioral emails. So we can say, if someone has been a member for 2 weeks and they haven't logged into the forum yet, send them this kind of message. If they've been a member for 3 weeks and they haven't added anything to the forum, send them this kind of message. We also can do in-app pop-ups to say when they log in. Barrett's been doing all this cool stuff with in-app pop-ups where when you click on a page for the first time, you get this little thing with Barrett's pretty little face on there saying, hey, this is your first time visiting the forums. Here are a few things that I want you to know.
That's so cool. And
then we can send them off to a specific sort of video to show them how to use it, all kinds of different things.
Is that through Intercom as well, the in-app stuff?
Yeah, intercom.io. It's a really great app, and we use it every day. We actually use it for customer support as well.
That's very cool. So the forums seem like, a crucial component to the success of the membership site, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's really where the pulse of the members is happening. If you didn't have some sort of community there, there's no water cooler. It doesn't really feel like a community, right? It's just a training platform. And training platforms can work as well. Obviously, lynda.com is huge and successful, and they don't have much of a community. But with lynda.com, you're going in to learn Photoshop or something, and it's not necessarily a multi-month or multi-year journey. For us, really, at the end of the day, our job is to keep people from quitting, because that's the default behavior. You have this dream of being an entrepreneur and eventually you quit. That's what happens to most businesses. And so our goal is to keep people from quitting. And the best way we've found to do that is to get people plugged into a support group where they see that it's the social norm amongst that group to just keep on keeping on, keep your head down and do the work. And also so that when they're in that dark time, as an entrepreneur, we all were there multiple times where we just felt like we just can't keep going, or we were stupid for ever trying. Mm-hmm. There's that group there to keep them going. And so that's why the community is so important for us. And the community is not just within the forums. We also, Barrett, you can tell him about, all the other things that we do that are outside of the forums to get people together.
Yeah, definitely. So a couple other things we do is every Friday we have a call with one of the three of us called Fizzle Friday. And it's basically an hour where our customers can hop on a call with us on GoToMeeting and hop on video camera, ask questions that are very personal to their business. And that's really cool. It's almost like it's not quite a webinar. It's more of like a group chat or group coaching in some ways, where everyone can listen to other Fizzlers, share their challenges, and either relate to them or jump in and offer advice based on what they've experienced. Then once a month, we also do a call called Office Hours, which is more of a webinar style. It's more us talking to people. And many more usually attend that one, and they submit questions ahead of time that, again, are specific to their business, but also that can be related to by other Fizzlers. And that's always a lot of fun. And then we do a lot where we're actively monitoring the forums, and that's been both a challenge and a joy of the job that I do. Is there's a ton of volume in our forums, and for us to go through all of that is, number one, really important to us, and number two, really hard. But that allows us to see when somebody's kind of raising their hand and saying, hey, I'm really struggling right now, or I'm at that break point. We can get in there and help them if no one else has jumped in yet. So
sure,
those are a few things we're doing.
Is the forum able to run on its own now, or are you guys still popping in there to keep things going?
We definitely still pop in there pretty regularly. I mean, I'm in there daily doing kind of a canvas of everything going on. And then I kind of play quarterback to tell Corbett or Chase when they need to jump into a thread that's particularly relevant to their realm of expertise or whatever.
So I'm curious to know from each of you, how much time is this taking? Because I feel like a lot of people expect to almost set up a membership site, put on a forum to take advantage of the community, and then just almost set it and forget it. But it doesn't sound like that. That's the case. It sounds like you guys are doing a lot of hard work to keep everybody happy.
Yeah, I think that, you can set the expectations however you want, and you can put as much value on your forums as you want. I think for some people, having a forum can be just sort of a little add-on thing. For us, it's really central. For all the reasons that I just said. So we want to make sure that it's as vibrant as possible. It's not to say that it's not active on its own. It is. We have, I don't know, at last count, 1,000 messages a day or something. Does that sound right, Barrett?
Yeah.
We have tens of thousands of posts in there.
That's crazy.
And it's very active, and people are in there helping each other. But that doesn't mean that there's not important questions going unanswered occasionally. And really, for us, that's a critical time. That's when you're in danger of losing someone. When somebody's in there saying, oh my God, I'm struggling with this, I can't figure it out. And then you go back a week later and you see that person left, that person canceled, and you feel so bad because if they had just gotten an answer to their question, you might have saved them, or changed their whole direction.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's really what we're trying to prevent. And it doesn't mean that if you run a membership site, you have to do that. But we've just said, that's a critical piece for us. So we do that. We do that personally. We also have a group of people that we've designated as Fizzle Whizzes, who are sort of, have gone above and beyond to provide value, and they're in there helping people every day. We know, from our friend Steve Cam, another site that Chase designed actually over at Nerd Fitness. He has a very active forum, and it got to the point where it was taking him too much time, and he couldn't really run his business anymore. And so he took very intentional steps to bring on a lot of moderators to help out. And that's certainly another direction you could go. And Chase and Barrett and I have actually been talking very recently about, okay, what does this look like now that we've scaled up? We're closing in on 1,500 members. How do we make sure that we can grow this thing without burning ourselves out?
Mm-hmm. Chase, how much time do you spend on all that you do? Maybe let's say like each week on Fizzle stuff.
I think it's comparable to the 40 hours a week thing. It's hard for me I'm a total, I don't know. I'm a prima donna type, right? Like I'm like, oh, I haven't been creative today. When am I going to get to be creative? I used to just make things I liked for a living, and now I'm just, oh God, I don't know what, writing headlines or something, right? And so I'm like this. These two guys, Corbett and Barrett, are just they're actual business people. They're like, oh yeah, let's look at the numbers and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I want to make something cool. I want to make something that people go, dude, you didn't need to spend that much time on that, but I'm glad you did. I want to make great stuff that feels good to take in. And for that reason, like, this is like the funnest game to me. Right. So my favorite, some people like to make puzzles and some people like to play card games. My favorite puzzle and card game to play is Making a Business with Corbett and Barrett. Right. It's just like, it's so fun for me. So I spend a lot of time thinking through stuff, and just about everything I do. If I had to put an hour on it, I mean, I clock in at 8 o'clock. I clock out at 5 o'clock when my brain's dead and I can no longer provide much value. So, I mean, it's like a 40 to 50 hour a week thing, but I'm doing, it's really fun. I mean, these are people who are really trying to build something, and we get to play a really important role in them realizing I don't know how capable they are of this, I guess,
Yeah, that's really cool. How about you, Bear? Are you along the same lines as Corbett and Chase in terms of
yeah,
number of hours?
definitely. And as Corbett said, as we've continued to grow in membership, my kind of hours dedicated to it have grown a little bit. But I think we're all kind of full-time on this, and we look at that as an opportunity to do the work that we feel like we're meant to do right now. And some weeks are more stressful than others, just like any job would be. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're all full-time. We're putting a lot of effort into it, and we're having fun too. The good thing is, though, the way we work is we're flexible. Like, we can go to the grocery store at noon, and we can go work out at 3, and then we can finish our work at 12:30 a.m. or whatever. So I think we all put in commensurate hours and do it when we want to.
And I think it's important to remember that this is still a budding business. It's still very early on. We've been in the last 2 weeks. We've met just about every day and had these long conversations planning out for next year, making sense of last year, doing all this year review stuff. And one of the things that we've been able to talk about is like, listen, we still don't exactly know what this thing is. We have a lot of experience. We have a lot of things that we can say and success stories, and a lot of people who are saying, this is what you are to me. And our dream is not to be drinking Mai Tais on some beach somewhere, though the lifestyle is just as important. It's just that this is actually really fun for all of us, as well as meaningful. And we're figuring out exactly what this thing could look like in 5 years. Could this be a brand that sits right next to lynda.com and MailChimp and Squarespace? Is this the education arena for all entrepreneurs in 10 years? Right? Is this something that you have a Fizzle membership when you go to university to be a business major or something like that? Right? Is this, instead of college, we do this? There's all of this explosive opportunity for us and for just the concept of business, which is like, how many people have you met recently that are starting up their own businesses? Like where I am in Portland, it's like everybody's like, yeah, I'm a newfound bracelet maker. Yeah, I just make bracelets. I sell those. There's other guys over there selling lanyards and jars of freaking grape jam and stuff. But like, people are, I think this is a trend in our culture that isn't going to be going away anytime soon. I think this is a resurgence in this, and we kind of view these ideas as almost more like open source, but you got to bring your butt to the table and actually try this stuff, because you're not going to get it on your first try. The hardest thing about this is going to be sticking with it.
Just like Pat's not going to get a straight answer from us on his first try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not going to happen.
That's my job here. I gotta keep digging.
Keep digging.
No.
Yeah.
So question for you, Corbett. I mean, how far ahead do you plan for new content to come into the group? I know a lot of people who have had membership sites before, and they have, content on there, and then they may have a couple months of content that they're going to add after that, but then they kind of run out of things. Yeah. So you guys struggle with sort of what else can we put in here, or should we even put more? Like how much is enough too?
Definitely, especially now. I mean, in the beginning we were super gung ho and really just trying to build up the content library. And so we put our heads down and just made course after course after course after course. And then this last year, 2014, we were more strategic about it. And we took our foot off the gas a little bit and started looking into, okay, training's important, but how do we fill in the cracks? And how do we make this really not just a training platform, but a platform that helps people achieve their goals? And knowledge is just part of it. Really what we need is motivation, so that they care to do the work, knowledge so they know how, and then the action so that they're actually doing what they need to be doing. And so training is just one part of that. We have been talking about all the different things that we have. We mentioned we have the live sessions, the Fizzle Fridays, the training, the community. We have in-person events. And we're trying to figure out how these puzzle pieces fit in. And we're also seeing that just personally as a team, it becomes challenging to come up with new content all the time and to put your best foot forward. And also you just run out of things that you can teach people, right? We've taught everybody a lot of the good things that we know. And now if we want to teach more courses, we kind of need to dig deeper or go out and learn new things that we want to teach people. So
or work with others like we did with
exactly.
Book Yourself Solid, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we have a number of guest courses. Pat, you did a guest course for us on affiliate marketing. We've worked with Leo Babauta and Scott Dinsmore. We worked with Michael Port and the Book Yourself Solid team last year to bring an essentials of Book Yourself Solid into Fizzle, which is pretty cool. So, I think going forward for us, content is a little less frequent, a little more curated and intentional to figure out, okay, how does this curriculum fit together so that it's not just we have to put something out every month. It's if we're going to put something out, where does this fit in so that it helps people make more progress in an important area? And then also, how do we get really high quality content, not just from ourselves, but from other people.
Yeah, keep going with that. I'm curious because actually I've gotten a lot of questions, especially once I started to ask Pat about people wondering how does that work when you get other people to come in and provide content for you and your community? Is there any compensation, or is that just kind of pro bono, or is it just because of a relationship that you have? I think that's an amazing way to expand the content that you have, to bring a different sort of style to the plate that your audience might not be used to, and just obviously deliver more value for your members. But how does that work with having those other people come on?
Yeah. So, if you look into a big company like lynda.com, they pay profit sharing basically to people who are their instructors. Or if you look at Creative Live, they do a revenue share for the specific content that you put out. And we've run all kinds of different scenarios through our heads. And I think at some point we might move to something like that. But we're a tiny bootstrapped 3-person team, and we can't afford that yet. So what we've done is essentially bartered for courses. In some cases, we've talked to friends just out of the goodness of their heart into providing a course. For other people, we've talked about doing some incredible affiliate deals. So they are getting sort of a revenue share, but they have to send us customers in order to get that revenue share. For others, people have done it for the exposure. We had John and Dana from Minimalist Baker. They run this incredible baking site, and they just really liked what we were doing and wanted to reach a new audience, and they were willing to participate in that for us. In some cases, we have helped people in certain ways with strategic coaching or with design services or something in order to get their content inside Fizzle. So we're just making it work however we can. And a lot of times we're just leaning on the relationships that we've built over the past, 4 or 5 years, basically.
That's really cool. Can you talk about pricing a little bit? I mean, I know because I've watched you guys over time. You guys have tested a lot of things, changed a lot of things. What has been working out best for you? You mentioned this recently, this $1 free trial, and I feel like this is the one that you've sort of stuck with the longest. You've also tried, I think, $7 for 7 days, or 1 month free, and all these other things. What has been working best for you guys?
So we started with a sort of 2-tiered pricing. We had a $49, I think, and a $29. I think that's what it was. And eventually we kind of felt like there was this artificial division between people inside of Fizzle. We didn't want people to feel like they were first class and second class citizens. We wanted people to feel like, I have a Fizzle membership, I am a Fizzler, and I have access to everything. Yeah. So that was part of it. It was just sort of part of our brand message, I think. And the other thing was it's simpler to manage when you just have one price tier. So eventually, we converged on one price. It's $35 a month, and we did some testing, and basically we found that it wasn't statistically significant to say that one versus the other led to more revenue for us. And I know there's a lot of pricing studies out there, and people can come to their own conclusions. But for us, it was worthwhile to say it's simpler. It's more on-brand message for us, and it doesn't appear to affect revenue that much. So we have one price. As far as getting people in the door, we've tried everything. We've had, no discount up front. We've tried free month. We've done the $1 trial. And we've even done some other longer periods, like 6 weeks and things like that. And what we found, we've run experiments a few times, is that for us, the $1 trial makes the most sense because it's the right balance of it's enticing enough to get people in the door. They have some skin in the game, which actually makes them more likely to try it out, to actually use the thing in the first couple of weeks. And so therefore leads to the greatest stick rate over time. With a free trial, the problem is it's really easy to sign up and then just to forget about it because it's like, oh, it's free, I want it, Right. Put it in your back pocket and forget about it. With a $1 trial, for some reason, there's this little bit of mental connection to say, I paid for that, so I better at least give it a shot, at least try it out. And so we found that just attracts the right kind of people and helps us with our activation, which, as we said in the beginning, is really one of the most important things we do to activate people when they sign up.
Nice. Love it. Chase, where are most of your members coming from? I mean, you guys do the podcast, you have the Sparkline, which is your blog, and all these other things going on. What has been sort of the biggest sort of way that you've been getting members to come in? Where are they coming from?
Well, I mean, I think the principally we've been bloggers for forever. Corbett had Think Traffic for just about 5 years. now, right? And he built up a huge audience there, and most of our audience is comprised of readers of Think Traffic. Now, for the last year and a half, probably we've been growing more and more and more based on a lot of the new blogging and podcasting that we do. We know this a lot of people signing up from the podcast because we're quite proud of the podcast ourselves. That's where I get to do all my real song and dance. I just love to be on the microphone. In case you didn't notice. What's interesting is for instance, like you've talked about yourself, Pat, on the microphone, on a podcast, you get so much more of who that person is than you would in their blog post or in any piece of writing or something like that. And this is why I love podcasting so much. This is why I've been an avid podcast listener for 5 years, I guess. And so people, when they sign up from the podcast, they really know what they're getting into. Because most of us on the podcast is like we're answering people's questions and we're being ourselves. We're hamming it up. We're saying like, yeah, a lot of people say this. We've done this, and there's not. You're gonna find because I mean, like there's no like real concrete right answer to just about any of these questions, right?
Right.
So you've got to get people well versed in the realities of what it's like to do this kind of work. So we get a lot of people from the podcast and from blogging and from our email list, so it's all that standard smart passive income type stuff where you're putting out things into the world that are helpful and valuable and have your personality on them, trying to find your people and then a way to connect with them because they're not going to sign up on their own. It's very hard to make a compelling enough offer in a podcast. But hopefully you get them onto the email list because they see that there's more interesting things going on than just the podcast every Friday morning. And then through that, you share a guide or a handful of other things that we've created that are all free stuff. And then they're like, dude, this is really valuable. And because you're also half the time, you're convincing them that they can even try to do what's in their heart. It's not just for people who are already doing the business stuff. It's for people who know that they'd one day like to try, or even if it's just on the side as a little project. So it's that same sort of really messy, organic, a lot of connective tissue between all of this crazy content marketing stuff. And then we've also started doing Facebook ads, and those are working well.
That wasn't like a Facebook ads.
We're doing Facebook ads a little bit for me because sometimes the picture and the ad that ends up working best is a little like, wait, it's just a picture of a bear's face. And if you've seen Herrick Dalpern's recent Facebook ads of the King Kong stuff, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
But so we've done some Facebook ads. I mean, what am I missing, Corbett?
That's it. I mean, and one of the key learnings for us is that people sometimes need or oftentimes need a long selling period before they sign up. Even though it's a dollar trial, people sign up all the time who are like, oh yeah, I've been following you since 2010. And just decided to sign up for Fizzle. And you're wondering, like, what was it that we said recently? And it's not about you. It's about them and what changed in their lives and how, like Chase said, they had this desire in their hearts and they finally got to a place in their lives where they were able to admit to themselves that it's time to try. And so your job isn't to cram your thing down their throat every day or every week because you lose people and they move on and they'll find someone else. So our job instead is just to be a polite friend there to listen, or there to talk to them about what could be in the future, and then to be there when they're ready. And so the podcast for us a lot of times is not about direct sales. It's just about warming people up and getting them comfortable with who we are and helping them come around to this idea eventually of, I do owe it to myself to try building a business. I know it's going to be hard. I know my family is going to wonder what I'm doing. I know my boss isn't going to like it. But I owe it to myself because I really do have one life and I'm not getting any younger. And it might take 10 years to succeed or 5 years or 2 years or whatever if you're lucky. But it'll all be worth it in the end.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And to finish up, Corbett, I'm going to ask you a couple rapid fire questions and then I want to go down the line with everybody. Giving us your best tip for running a membership site. So Corbett, really quick, what software are you using to sort of deliver your membership site? Or what platform is it on?
Yeah, so everything's based on WordPress. We use a plugin called Paid Memberships Pro to actually, take people's credit cards through the Stripe payment platform. And we've heavily customized that. In fact, we don't really use those plugins anymore. They're kind of buried deep within our system architecture, but we aren't able to stay on the upgrade path because we've customized things enough for us. If I were looking today, I'd consider Paid Memberships Pro. I'd look at Memberful. I'd look at Member Mouse. There are 4 or 5, wish list. There are 4 or 5 top plugins that do what you want. We really love the Stripe payments platform, and that would be a requirement for me, actually, that whatever membership plugin I used accepted Stripe.
Are you accepting PayPal?
We do not accept PayPal. And in the beginning, that was a decision for us basically to streamline things and to get our beta out there without worrying about it. But then eventually we just noticed that nobody asks anymore whether or not we accept PayPal. Everybody has a credit card. I think maybe Barrett can speak to this better. Maybe we get a couple of inquiries in a month, but it doesn't seem to really affect our overall volume. And we know of plenty of big businesses that don't accept PayPal as well. So
Right. Where are your videos hosted, the videos that are shown in the platform?
Those are on Wistia, and we absolutely love Wistia for all the features they have and the stats that they show us as well.
Forum software.
For forums, we are using IP Board.
IP Board, great. And then do you have any tools to keep track of metrics and things like that, where you can maybe get like a snapshot of how your business is doing? I think that's one of the struggles people have with membership site. They don't necessarily know who's using what and how, their churn and all that stuff. Do you have any fancy software for that type of stuff?
Yeah, we do. So, whatever membership plugin you use will have a little bit of that baked in. But what we've had to do is we use a tool called Gecko Board, which is like a dashboard, a metrics reporting dashboard. And you can feed Gecko Board any sort of data you want. Now, this might require if you don't know how to manipulate databases and ask questions yourself, maybe you'll need to hire somebody. But it's very worth it to say, we know what our trial conversion rates are on a weekly basis, our churn rate, how many people sign up, what percentage of people who sign up are posting in the forums, how many hours of video people are watching. All of these different things we're able to watch so that we can hopefully spot trends before they happen or as they're happening, so that we don't get 3 months down the road with half of our membership numbers and wonder what happened. We're able to sort of kind of keep our finger on the pulse.
That's sweet. Thank you for that. So that's Gecko Board. Am I missing anything else in that sort of realm of, what tools are you using?
No, I mean, the other thing is, managing just all the different content that we need to produce is challenging. And so we try to stay on top of that just as a team. We're heavy Slack users since we have 3 of us. And we're located around the world. You guys use Slack too?
Slack is my favorite thing in the world. It's cut out so much email. It's just so much easier to communicate with the team. I think it was Caleb, when he was with you guys, he told me about it, and I've been using it, and I've since shared it. Michael Hyatt uses it now. I mean, it's probably my top most favorite software of this past year.
Yeah, I'd say it's our most important at this point piece of software that we use as a team. And then we use Asana for team task management. And that's helpful as well, just to keep track of when's the podcast coming out, who's writing the blog this week, where is that course in production, who's up to handle Fizzle Friday this week. There's all these different things that we need to track, and we couldn't do it without Asana.
Perfect. All that information was golden. I can see some of the people listening to this like pulling over and trying to take notes or something.
And I guess also to be mentioned, I mean, we did mention Intercom for all of our customer support and all that stuff, but also MailChimp is a massive part of our business.
That's true.
With MailChimp's automation stuff, we moved, when I came on the team, I basically forced us to move off of Aweber to MailChimp for a lot of reasons. But it's, and at the time, like it was like Corbett was just like, yeah, let's try it. Let's do it. Whatever. Let's try it. And we had a list of, 50,000 people or something. And then Aweber spammed our whole list a bunch. It was a user error thing. And we lost a bunch of people. But anyways, we brought into MailChimp, and MailChimp's new automation features that they've put together, I don't know, in the last month or so, have been just sensational. To put together a little like email course kind of thing, we have a 30-day challenge that anybody can sign up for, where it's like, hey, I want to ship anything. It could be a new blog, it could be a product, it could be a podcast, it could be whatever. And it's just these simple steps that Corbett identified. And every day or two, you get another email that says, okay, now this is the stage that you're at. Go do this, get it done. I'll be back in another day. Right? That kind of stuff is so valuable. In I don't know, the inbox is still such a valuable tool when it's used by something like that, instead of like we've got got a Black Friday sale, and you seem like a valuable customer, Mr. Customer X793272, stuff like that. So MailChimp ends up being a really big part of our business.
Thank you for that. And Barrett, let's start with you in terms of one final tip that you have based on your role and your experience with Fizzle to help somebody out there who's either got a membership site and maybe is struggling with it or maybe is potentially going to start one. What's one tip that Barrett can provide here?
Definitely. So if you're looking at us as an example of how to run a membership site, so assuming you like the way that we treat our customers, the way that we run Fizzle, don't make assumptions that you as an individual can run a membership site the way that we run Fizzle. We do have a 3-person team working on this pretty much full time every week. And we have plenty of work that doesn't get done on top of that. So I just want to encourage you to explore the possibilities of membership sites and not set expectations so high that you get discouraged immediately when you start exploring it.
Yeah, thank you for that. Chase?
I think one of the things, this is such a big project. Fizzle's so massive. We're trying to basically make the world a place where anybody can start up a business that they believe in, whether it replaces their full-time income or not, right? Just that it's a skill that you can have. A target that large comes with a certain amount of ambiguity, right? If we started this off saying like Corbett's original product was start a blog that matters, right? And this phenomenal, really, really successful $100 thing that's just a 13-week, get it done, make it happen. And eventually we pulled that into Fizzle. If it was just for bloggers, or I think of another Fizzle co-teacher, John Lee Dumas's Podcaster's Paradise, right? If it was just for podcasters, it'd be really easy. Or if it was just for bloggers who wanted to learn how to write better content. What I'm getting at is picking a very, very specific niche, which is some of your advice as well, Pat, and going with that. I just learned this great trick that I think we're going to publish an article on Tuesday. Whatever your idea is, whatever that wireframe or this back of the napkin sketch of what the business is going to be, whatever your idea is, take that, run, think about it as much as you want to, plan it and then undesign that 2 times. Okay, go and take out anything that feels like it might not be necessary once, and then do that again, then launch that thing. Because when you get to market and sell and create a thing that has a very definitive beginning, middle, and end, instead of like the thing that your brain will naturally do, which is like way over engineer this thing. Oh, yeah, this is my minimum viable product. No, that's like a 4-year project right there, So when you get to actually chew on the bite that you take, you'll be so surprised that you can actually make sense to the other person on the other side of the monitor. Right? When you know this is the outcome, this is a 13-week thing, or this is exactly what we do. It's just for this kind of person. Eventually, we can spread out and do more. The way that Harvard, or the way that Facebook started in one dorm in Harvard, and then eventually went to a few other colleges, and then eventually became what it is today. That's most of what I'm coaching people to do within Fizzle, anyways, because I see that as the number one reason why most of these ideas fail, because it could totally work, but you don't have the firepower for that right now. Tiger.
Love it, Chase. Thank you. And Corbett, let's finish up with you. You've been on the show before. I've been there to help promote, how to start a blog that matters and think traffic. I was there right in the first post, in that roundup post that you had that sort of,
that's right.
Put you off.
Back in March of 2010.
Yeah, dude. It's been an incredible journey to see sort of how far you've come and what you've been able to do and what you've built here. And all 3 of you, just congratulations on everything. And to finish up, I'd love to hear from you. One final tip to just inspire everybody and get everybody excited about potentially.
No pressure, Corbett. Hey, just make it count.
One tip. Just to kind of bring it back to membership sites. I've sold services and one-off products and now this membership site. And personally, I really enjoy this model because it feels very stable from month to month. I mean, you can almost predict within $100 what our revenue will be next month or the month after. And that feels really good. And I also really do like this idea of having to resell our customers every month and remind them of what our value is and demonstrate it to them again. It just keeps our head in the right place, which is a really nice thing. But I'm going to echo what Barrett and Chase both said as well. And that is that running a membership site and trying to produce content month after month to keep people happy and to make them feel like they're getting the value they need to remain members is a major challenge. And at the end of the day, if you think about it, we have some average number of months that people stick around, and you can figure out that there's a customer lifetime value of, let's say, for us, a couple $100. And so in a way, it's almost as if we're selling a product for a couple of $100. It just has a different architecture to it. So don't get hung up on this idea that a membership site is some ultimate, panacea of perfection in terms of selling something online. You can do very well with a product that has one price tag, that somebody gets in and tries out for a couple of months or whatever. So the point is that you get something out there. We said before, a business is really simple. Create something that has value, that somebody wants, put a fair price on it. And most people never get to that stage. They, for months or years, have these ideas swirling around their head, and they're thinking, if I just figure out how to game Google in the right way, or if I just figure out how to create the perfect podcast or whatever, all my problems will be solved. But at the end of the day, you need to sell something. You need to put something out there, an offer that somebody can click on and, enter their credit card into some form somewhere to receive the value that they're looking for, and make sure that you close that loop. Don't get stuck at the beginning just thinking, of these ways to grow an audience. Eventually, you need to turn that audience into buyers. And whether that's a membership site or an ebook or affiliate marketing or whatever, it doesn't really matter as long as you're delivering that value.
Love it.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a great one. Yeah. Seriously. Thank you guys so much for coming on and spending time with me today and the SPI audience. A lot of you know that I'm an affiliate. So if you wanted to go through my affiliate link, that's smartpassiveincome.com/fizzle. And guys, I appreciate it so much. Best of luck to you. And here's to an awesome 2015.
Thanks for having us, Pat.
This was so fun. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Thanks so much, Pat. We love your show. We love your people. We hope we get to hang out sometime soon. When's your next conference you're going to?
Well, right now on the dock, it's NMX. I'm doing the opening keynote. So hopefully see you guys there.
Alrighty.
Snap. All right, Turkey.
Talk to you later.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Corbett, Barr, Chase Reeves, and Barrett Brooks from Fizzle.co. Some of my favorite people in the world. They're so fun to hang out with. Anytime we get to a conference together, we make sure to spend time together. And I would recommend that you check them out. So if you go to smartpassiveincome.com/fizzle, you can check out their blog and their membership site. And I would actually recommend just doing that to go watch their homepage video about their business training and what they have to offer. Not to necessarily get in the program, although I would obviously recommend it. I am an affiliate myself. I'm a member myself. I've contributed a couple courses in there too. But the video that they created to help promote their course is awesome. It's one of the best videos I've seen to promote anything. And maybe I'm a little biased, but it does a really good job of sharing what their product and their community and the thing that they're building is all about. You can't help but laugh and be intrigued and be really interested in what they have to say. So check that out, not to obviously copy them, but just to say, you know what, whenever you promote something, you want to have that sort of feeling where when people are watching the promo video for it or they're getting on your sales page, that they can't help but be inspired and ready to work with you. And they do a good job over there at Fizzle.co. So check them out. Again, Corbett, Chase, and Barrett. 3 amazing guys, a lot of great information there. The show notes will be available at smartpassiveincome.com/session147. There were a lot of things that Corbett mentioned there at the end, especially in terms of tools to help you out with building your membership site. I mean, Gecko Board alone just sounds like a gold mine to me. So I'm going to check that out too.
Guys, I've really been enjoying this podcast, and I will continue to do it in the future for you. I know a lot of you have taken the information that I've shared here, the interviews that we've done with other experts and other people, and have actually taken action with it. And I just love you for that. I'm so thankful that I have an audience who is actually not just learning, but learning and putting things into place to make change in their lives and the lives of others too. I mean, we're all here to serve other people, I hope. But I know a lot of you also need a little bit more help. I've been getting messages left and right from people who have been asking for more and deeper information about certain things. So what I've done is I've actually put together a number of courses, and there's more courses coming in the future, thanks to your recommendations. If you go to smartpassiveincome.com/courses, you'll see a list of the courses that are currently available there or that you can sign up for the waitlist for. Again, that's smartpassiveincome.com/courses. Check it out.
Thanks again for listening. Show notes are available at smartpassiveincome.com/147. Would love to hear from you on the blog as well. Head on over there and leave a comment and let myself, Corbett, Chase, and Barrett know what you think. And thank you guys. I'll see you in the next episode of the Smart Passive Income Podcast next week. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast at www.smartpassiveincome.com.
Have you dreamt about being your own boss, but still haven't made the first steps to making that dream a reality? Well, I get that. Starting a business can feel super overwhelming with legal forms, paperwork, finances. It's a lot. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Taylor Brands. Taylor is a complete business builder designed to make launching your business simple and stress-free. You can register your LLC in just minutes, keeping your personal assets and the business assets separate from day one. From there, you get access to everything you need to get off the ground. Legal documents, licenses and permits, invoicing and bookkeeping tools, and even a 100-day business coaching program, all designed to help you hit the ground running. You'll also get a free personalized business plan, branding tools, and so much more. And of course, listeners of this show get an exclusive 35% discount to get started. All you have to do is head to taylorbrands.com/SPI. That's TAILORBRANDS.com/SPI. Stop dreaming, start building with Taylor Brands. Hey, fellow podcaster, does this sound like something you've experienced? You record your podcast episode on one platform, download the files, edit in another app, then fire up a different tool just to create these social clips? Well, it can be clunky, time-consuming, and frankly overwhelming, especially for creators trying to grow. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Riverside. Riverside is the all-in-one platform. Record, edit, and repurpose your podcast content all in one place. You just log in, record with your guests no matter where you are in the world, and just like that, studio-quality audio and high-resolution video. We use Riverside here at SPI as well now. With built-in AI, I can automatically clean up my audio, saving myself so much editing time, and it can even auto-generate clips to make promoting the show a breeze. And with Magic Clips, I can grab the best moments and repurpose them as short-form video, perfect for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram, without re-recording a thing. So if you're tired of juggling tools and want a faster, simpler way to create and scale your content, it's time to try Riverside, built by creators for creators. Just go to smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside and use code SMART to get 1 month free on the Pro plan. That's smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside, promo code SMART.